Hello and welcome to Home Ground.
Bringing you stories of rural life from right across the countryside.
Coming up tonight, I discover the lost art of flax harvesting.
Up, straight up.
OK.
Ruth's been on hand to help a family get ready for a big competition.
A huge amount of work goes into this.
And from prison to the showground, how animals are helping with rehabilitation.
But first, farming can be a really stressful job. In fact, recent figures show that mental health is one of the biggest concerns for those employed in agriculture. To mark World Suicide Prevention Day, I've been out to meet one farmer who's been opening up about his own struggles with depression, and in doing so has helped many others right across the world.
Just all the way along.
Adam Watson is a dairy farmer just outside Coleraine. And like most farmers, every day is a busy one.
Is this lunch?
This is lunch, yeah.
It might seem idyllic, but for Adam, it wasn't always the case.
Milk price started to fall early in 2015, and I went on to October 2016. On our farm, our break-even point's 24p, and we dipped below that in January 15. And it was 20 months before we got back above that. So that was 600 nights of going to bed in a worse position than you were this morning.
These prolonged prices affected many farmers like Adam, but very often the cost wasn't just financial. There was an emotional price too.
If it had been that on its own, I would have got through it. I could have handled it, but I was getting married that year. There was pressure from that. There was financial strain from that. My sister, who I was close to, moved to Abu Dhabi. My grandfather died at the start of the year. All those wee things on their own, I could have dealt with, but they all sort of built up together, kind of just snowballed on me.
So what was the straw then? What was the turning point?
September 2016, that was about 2 or 3 weeks. I got married on the 1st of October. And things really, I didn't understand what was happening to me. I would be doing a job, I'd be fine, and then within 2 seconds I would burst into tears. I'd be sporadically crying, and I didn't really understand why.
So was this anything you'd felt before, or was this entirely new territory?
No, I didn't know what it was.
Were you terrified?
I was. I think I was surrounded by people who loved me, but I felt alone.
Was there no hope?
I think one of the things is you don't feel hope. There was hope. You know, I had so much going for me, but at my lowest point, I felt isolated, I felt scared, and I felt alone. None of those things were true, but that's the effect it had on me.
A recent survey amongst farmers under 40 found that 81% of them cited mental health as the biggest challenge to the industry.
It is hard to get people to open up and talk about it.
I was speaking to a farmer recently, and he said when farming's going well, it's the best job in the world. But he says very often it feels like we're in a pressure cooker. There's just pressure coming from so many angles.
Farming is in the top 10 occupations most at risk from suicide. And the Rural Support Organisation has been working all throughout the countryside with farmers in difficulty.
I suppose from our own work in rural support, we realise that there's mounting pressure on farmers in Northern Ireland. Farms are having to become bigger in scale. There's pressures coming from uncertainty around Brexit. There's pressures with new environmental legislation, farm inspections. Also, the public perception of farming isn't always good. So I think farmers sometimes feel that there are pressures coming at them from all angles. And then there's the other things that they have absolutely no control of the weather, for example. What we're trying to do is encourage people to focus on the issues that they can have an impact on. You know, each of us as an individual can't really influence the outcome of Brexit or influence the weather. So focus on the smaller things that we can deal with on a day-to-day basis on the farm. So we want people to contact us. We can help them deal with some of those problems and hopefully lead them on a path that will avoid that crisis.
Last year, Adam started a blog about his experience. It's been read by thousands of people in 44 countries around the world, but became a way to explain his depression to those closer to home.
You didn't want to tell some people, so some people knew, and some people didn't know, and could you tell some friends and not, you know, and you were scared of some people finding out. And this was a kind of, it's all or nothing, you know, put it out there and everybody knows. I was happier when it was out there. You know, whenever I went into it, I didn't think it would help me as much as it has. But it's helped us all deal with it. So many different responses from people going through the same stuff. I got a message a couple of weeks ago from a guy in Canada.
Wow.
And he had read it. And it has really, it's really helped that guy, which it's strange to see how that's worked the way it has.
Have other people shared their stories with you that maybe they haven't shared with anyone else?
Yeah, a lot of people. I've had messages from a lot of people. Some people who have shared their stories and some people who haven't, and maybe that's the first step. So, you know, that makes me feel proud. That's a good thing.
Do you think in general farmers struggle to share their feelings with others?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of, I wouldn't say ego, that's maybe too strong a word, but putting on a brave face.
A pride, maybe?
Yeah, pride. You don't want to show weakness in front of your neighbours or your friends. You don't want to admit you're struggling. You don't want to admit what problems are leading you to be, you know, struggling mentally. You know, like with me, it was the milk price and the financial struggle, and you know, people want to say, "Oh, we're strong enough to deal with this," and that's not the case, you know.
But it's not all about strength, is it, as you found out?
No, it's not, and there's strength in admitting you've got a problem.
Adam hopes his story will inspire others who are struggling to speak out.
If I hadn't made it through, I got married, I have a son, all the things that are good in my life now have happened since then. So while I felt hopeless, there was hope. You know, probably the best times of my life were still in front of me.
Well, wasn't it lovely to meet Adam and hear his story? And I'm sure you'll agree, he's a complete inspiration. Now it's the time of the year for the agricultural shows where families across the land get ready to exhibit their prize livestock. Ruth's been working with a local farming family as they get ready for the annual Fermanagh County Show.
It's show season, and the Bothwell family are getting this year's hopefuls ready.
The bull's going to the sale. It's like a woman going to her wedding. As everybody knows, everybody likes to look their best on their wedding day, so everybody's got an addiction, and I suppose these white boys are mine. It always helps your animal to go out and be seen at a show, of course. You might have a future person there thinking of maybe purchasing a bull. You might see him at a younger age, and he might move on to where he goes to a sale then and maybe try and buy the bull. That's always an option. But another thing is, with the kind of local shows, it's great to get your animal out to socialise in a crowd of people. Olaf and Orlando are actually both out of the one sire. Their two calves are May-born bulls, so they're 14 months at the moment. At the end of the day, Rosette's is nice, but Sterling is payday.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
when you go to the bank manager with a lock of Rosettes, he looks at them for a minute, but he looks at, where's the checks?
That is a fair point. But as show cattle, it's like buying a white car. They must be very hard to keep clean.
Yes, that aspect of it would be a downside, but the Charlies, like, you do a fair wee bit of washing and preparing, and you know, all as a family here, we kind of, Shirley would do the cleaning out, and somebody else I'd do the feeding of the meal, and we all do our bit on the farm to kind of bring them out as well as we can, you know.
But Shirley, is this David's obsession, or is this yours as well?
No, I would say this is David's obsession, but I didn't grow up with cattle, but I'm happy enough now. I like working with them, helping David and preparing them for the shows, yeah.
So it's a real family occasion.
It is, yes. And even the kids are starting to get involved, even though they're young. They can do little bits and help us in the yard and see what happens at the show, and then hopefully when it's their turn they can start taking over.
I've been roped in to help get these boys prepped. First things first, brushing and clipping. There is a huge amount of work goes into this already.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Then it's a wash and shampoo.
You get a nice white froth, and you know then you're getting into where you need to.
Is it quite a lot? Oh, quite a lot
You
of
get a
pressure.
whack of the tail, see it?
Right, they seem to be really enjoying this.
Oh, without a doubt, they love the. At the end of the day, they're eking their hair and they're bedding or wood chips on it. You know, it cleans out their whole hair where they don't be scratching, and they really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Even the pressure washing. You'd think with the pressure washer, oh, it's hard on an animal, but he'd be licking his lips. He'd be enjoying it that much, you know.
It's like a day in the salon.
Yeah, more or less. He's very, very good boy. Actually, one of my favourites. You don't like to say that too loud in farming because...
Don't say it in front of Olaf.
Yeah, Olaf could get jealous.
Oh, my God, exactly. You see, I totally get why you do this, actually. Like, even I'm starting to feel slightly competitive about, like, right, come on, boys, we have to win this.
Yes.
Do you know? And I've just met them. It's ridiculous.
You do, look, you go out and you'd be lying if you didn't say you weren't competitive and you didn't want to do well. Everybody, when they bring their animals out, I would say everybody goes there dreaming of having the first prize, but of course, not everybody can have the first prize, so... Yes.
I think we've got a good shot at it. I love how I've joined this team.
Oh, you
We've
can join
got a
our
good
team.
shot.
By the work you've done today, you'd have no problem joining our team.
Oh, thank you very much. Next up, victory. The Fermanagh County Show has been running since 1837 and attracts over 17,000 visitors each year. It's a great chance for local farmers and those from further afield to meet and compete. And with that in mind, the pressure is on. The Bothwells are busy making last-minute preparations to Olaf and Orlando. I can't believe that these two look even cleaner than the last time I saw them. They're pristine.
Either got washed up yesterday and got a wee bit of soap on today, and then we kind of use the white soap so it kind of enhances the white on them a bit. Like, so.
You've had a clean up as well, haven't you?
A wee bit of a shave as well. Like.
Have you been scoping out the competition?
Yeah, we've been kind of looking around. We're quietly confident, as I always say.
This is literally about to happen, so we're going to leave you to it.
Lovely job.
Get your white coat on too.
No problem. No
Fingers
problem.
crossed. Good luck.
hopefully.
All right,
We'll catch you afterwards.
That'll do. All right, take care. Stop. He's enjoying his scratch, so he is.
There are 5 other competitors in the Charolais beef class. David is leading Olaf and Shirley has Orlando.
Okay.
What a result! It's a first place prize for Orlando and second place for Olaf.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
David, Shirley, boys, that was absolutely brilliant. You must be incredibly proud of them.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, it's brilliant whenever they're kind of bulls out of my own stock bull and they're the first calves out of them, and you kind of bring them out and you get red rosettes in your first shows with them. It's exciting times for them and ourselves.
Well done, you.
Yeah.
Well done, and well done you as well. And well done all of you.
Yeah.
A big congratulations to Olaf and Orlando, the stars of the show. Flax was once grown all over Northern Ireland to feed the linen industry. But since its decline, flax has become a rare sight in our fields. However, Gavin's been to County Tyrone to meet one family reviving the tradition.
Northern Ireland was once the linen capital of the world, employing more than 70,000 people in mills and factories across the country. But the industry saw a rapid decline in the post-war years. Today, I'm visiting a farm in County Tyrone where couple Charlie Mallon and Helen Keys are helping to revive it.
Well, where it all started last year, we do bronze sculptures. My husband's a sculptor, and when we sell them, we want to put them in a lovely little package. And we thought it would be really nice if they were, from linen that was grown here to add to that local story. But what we found when we went looking for linen that was grown here was it's really hard to find. We found that there was very few people actually growing flax for fibre anymore in Ireland. Charlie sort of said, well, we've got a farm, we've got a field.
Well, I'm here to help for what it's worth.
Excellent. We will put you to work.
Right, we'll tiptoe through the rest of this and go and help the guys.
OK.
Herman, nice to meet you.
Hello, Gavin.
You're the man, I hear. You're going to show me how to pull flax?
Well, I'll show you.
OK.
Up, straight up.
OK.
It's got a short, straight root.
Yeah.
So if you pull it at an angle, you make it hard for yourself. Just pull it straight up.
Straight up,
and then do you with your two hands, or keeping your two hands.
OK. I'm down doing a bit of wading down here. So is this the purest form of it, pulling by hand?
That's the old form of it. They would say up to 2 acres or so. If you have a good few people with good hands, you can do it. Above that, you'd need a machine.
Tired already? I'll take a break while you carry on there.
Flax is a great plant. There's no waste with it. The straw that comes out of it in the end is great for bedding animals. The seed, as you well know, linseed is one of the best seeds for oil making and for food. Linseed is known as one of the new superfoods.
Would it be fair to say you're quite passionate about this?
You see that in bloom. You see a bit of it still here. 2 weeks ago, you see 2 acres of flax in bloom. The beauty of it alone will make you passionate, never mind the product.
So this is the fun part of the process, Helen?
Traditionally, they would have stacked it in a field and let it dry. We find that the barbed wire fence actually serves a really good purpose here because we can just hang it off that, and that's to let the seeds dry out. So then we ripple the seeds off. Then we can use the seeds for oil, and we can use them for even feed for the cattle from the husks. And then we go through the process of retting it, which traditionally would have been done in a flax dam. But we do it in tanks now because it's much more sustainable, better for the environment, doesn't damage the rivers. Then it goes to be scutched, and we have an interesting machine to show you that will help us with the scutching process.
Are you paying attention? Yes. Right, we're going to look at this machine, will we?
Absolutely.
So, Charlie, this machine is your baby. Tell us a bit about it.
My father-in-law worked on the rivers and had seen this years ago. And then whenever me and Helen got into the flax, we kind of went looking for it and found this machine again.
Yeah, well, it took a bit of moving. It didn't just rock up. We went to see it, and it was, being kept in a shed. Thankfully, somebody had preserved it, when one of the local mills closed down, and he had taken it and stored it in a shed. And luckily, he was just really interested in what we were doing and was keen to see it restored. And the fact that Charlie's an engineer and a metal worker and was able to actually do something with it and will be able to get it up and working again. The guy was, it was great. He was willing to let us have it.
So when it is working and you're going to get it working, what's it going to do then?
That'll take this flax and we'll put it through beaters at the far end, and it'll then beat off the husks off the flax and leaves you with a nice flaxen hair that will then go off to be spun.
You've got a few bits here because it's a very big jump from some of this stuff to what we have.
They say there's like 13 stages to processing flax. So this bit, once the seeds are taken off it, that's what will go through the machine. And then out the other end of the scutcheon machine will come some nice fibre.
Yeah. So nothing going to waste?
Nothing going to waste.
No, which is what makes it one of the most sustainable textiles. When we put it in the first place last year, you know, we just thought we'll try an acre, see how it grows, and we didn't actually know a huge amount about it. So it was a bit of a gamble at that stage, I think. But we've just learned so much during this past year, and one of the things that has really struck both of us is just how interested everybody is and how supportive everybody has been. And we keep meeting people who say, you know, I've got a piece of machinery might be useful for you, or can I come and help with the harvest? And that's been a really nice part of the process.
It's up to you now to get this machine going again.
Yeah, a bit of pressure on that.
And isn't it great to see flax back in our fields? Now, caring for livestock can be both rewarding and hard work, and you wouldn't expect it to be happening in a prison. Well, Ruth's been to Magilligan to find out more.
Prison isn't the first place which springs to mind when you think of the great outdoors.
Magilligan has just under 500 sentenced prisoners. We're a low-security category prison where a lot of prisoners work out in the community. So we'll release people in the morning time to go out to work, and then they return back to prison at the evening.
So there's quite a bit of flexibility to do other things within the prison then?
There is. It's fairly unique in regard to, I suppose, allowing us to work very closely with the community and building those community links. Learning and skills is at the heart of all that we do. So we work with our partners with the North West Regional College, and the qualifications and the assessments look at key elements of a person's background, what's their educational ability, and then we put together specific training courses meeting those individual needs.
To that end, Magilligan are hoping to offer courses on animal husbandry. It has a small herd of sheep and goats, some chickens, and even a donkey.
Some people might say, listen, these people have committed a crime, they're not in prison for a good time, they shouldn't get training, they're here to be punished. I mean, how would you answer that?
Well, I think that is one of the key questions that society do ask us. When a prisoner comes to Magilligan, they've been in front of the courts, they've been found guilty of an offence. But our job, and we take victims' issues very seriously, but our job here is to protect the creation of the next victim.
The animals are kept just outside the prison walls, and today they're being looked after by Javin, an inmate at the end of a 4-year sentence. Malcolm McClenaghan is the prison governor who first introduced sheep to Magilligan.
This is a beautiful girl. What sort of a breed is she?
This is the Teeswater, who is just misbehaving at the moment.
She's not very happy about being
No,
out,
this is her first time on a harness, so she's here to be clipped.
Ah.
And because she's a traditional breed with the long wool.
Yes.
This is going back to where sheep were bred for wool, with the meat being a byproduct. Today we've gone commercial in a lot of sheep breeds where the meat is the main produce and the wool is a byproduct. And if you look at the length of the staple, you're talking 25 to 30 centimetres. And again with the microns. So where wool will sell in market for 50p to a pound per kilogram, this wool sells at £6 per kilogram.
£6 per kilogram? Why is everybody not producing these in that case, Malcolm?
Because the market for the wool is a lot less than the market for meat.
Malcolm and Javin are joined today by local farmer Jonathan, who's lending his expertise in traditional hand shearing.
Keep the shears flat.
Okay,
flat.
I'll just do a wee bit, because you want to hurt her. Do you know, I think I might leave this to people who actually know what they're doing, because these are, it's a bit beyond me.
You made a valiant effort. So
Thank you, you're very diplomatic.
These skills are all part of the training for the outside world.
I find it good fun, so it is. Just a bit like being at home again.
Well, so did you do this on the outside?
Yeah, we worked for farmers and stuff on the outside, and it was handy enough.
Is this something you'd like to get back into when you're released?
Yeah, I would enjoy going back to the farming. I have a man out there that would take me back with him as well, so I'm lucky that way. So.
It must be good to be outside and good to be working with animals again.
It is. Definitely, it doesn't feel like being a prisoner no more. It's different. It's like a wee bit of normality and a bit of trust again.
He'll be part of the prison team, showing some of these Teeswaters at the Clocker Valley show. Last year, they were shown at Balmoral.
Public reaction in Balmoral was very, very good. We had publicised, we had a large banner up,
advertising that I was HMP McGilligan, and anybody I spoke to had no negative comments whatsoever. The prisoners are risk assessed, and it is their opportunity for rehabilitation to get them back into the community. I don't know how many thousands go through Balmoral, but they were just one of a number.
So it's as important for the prisoners to be amongst lots of people as it is to be showing the animals.
Very important. I learnt that lesson from a prisoner here at one time, McGilligan, who was out on the town visit, and he explained to me when he came back, he thought he had a label above his head. He thought everybody looked at him and thought he was a prisoner. This is introducing the person into the public, which is difficult for them, and I find very, very beneficial.
But you are in this to win, aren't you?
Well, that's a benefit. If we win, that's nice. But taking part is the main thing.
A couple of weeks later, and the Clocker Valley show is in full swing. Javin is out for the day, and accompanied by Malcolm, he's getting ready for his first competition. Just time for a few finishing touches.
See these long ones here? Just clip them in tight and close. That's it, yep. And that hopefully should be her ready for when she's taken out into the show. Yes.
Today we're competing in the rare breed section, and it's stiff competition.
Ron Mercer will be shortly judging the rare breeds classes.
And very soon, white coat on, it's Javin's turn.
Here we go. So this is ours.
Again, checking the sheep, which should be correct.
She does look very different to the others.
She does.
But she's very elegant, I think.
She is. She's a lot more elegant. We've named her Princess Ruth.
Javin's doing very well.
Javin's holding her very, very well.
And he's sort of keeping her really calm as well.
I spoke to him beforehand and gave him a wee tip because she's been at home for a wee while, just getting ready for the show. I find that if you rubbed her head or tickled her under the chin, that sort of keeps her calm. The Oxford down towards the end has got first.
So
first. The other Oxford down has taken second.
We're right down at the bottom here.
We're right down, yes, but if you look, he's put the meter breeds in front.
So we've come last.
These things happen, Ruth.
You're very good. You're very good. Well, I think she's a winner.
This isn't about getting a rosette.
Yeah,
you know?
and Javin's done really well. This is his first time showing sheep.
This is his first time showing sheep. He's never shown before.
How do you think he's done?
Brilliantly well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Proud?
Yes. Very proud. And he had the sheep under control at all times, which surprised me because I don't think I could have done that.
Just all right, just get the sheep out of the pen and then line them up and stuff. It's something I'd never done before, but I suppose it came to me naturally.
You know, really, your life outside then, you're starting to see how it's going to take shape.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I suppose it's strange way feeling, but just it'll come back to me so well naturally. And then sure, before I know it, I'll be getting out the gate and I'll be back home normal.
Well, better luck next time to the team from McGilligan.
Oh, yeah, but it was a good day all round, though, for everybody involved.
It was. That's it for this episode. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.